G'day guys, how you going? So about 11 weeks ago, I broke my collarbone. As you can see, I am in a sling right now. On top of that, I also broke my wrist and two bones in my hand, but that's not really relevant because they broke in place and with a little cast, it was perfectly fine. And my collarbone's more, well, you know the phrase 4 to 6, as they say. It's looking more like 14 to 16 weeks in the sling, plus however long it's gonna take for me to rehab. Anyways, that's why there hasn't been a video on here for quite some time now. Not that I was ever consistent in uploading or really have much of a following, but anyway, that's besides the point. I just wanted to tell you about how I went down and kind of what I got from it. So it was a pretty chilly morning at the start of winter when this happened. It had been raining the night before, but it was a nice crispy sunny morning, and a mate of mine and I were going for a ride. He was without a bike, so I let him borrow my Beamer because he's got his missus with him, and we set off to Matakana Market. The accident happened when I took a left-hand turn a little too fast. The signage, you know, those speed suggestion signs, I'm actually talking about the suggestion signs on the corners, not mocking the signage, the speed suggestion signs, right? I'm not mocking the speed limit signs, I'm actually talking about the speed suggestion signs that they put on corners to suggest what speed vehicles should be at taking that corner on. Indicated that I should be doing 55 k's an hour, whereas I was doing 100, maybe a little bit more, wink wink nudge nudge, but there's no proof there, so don't look for it, police, thank you. And after I hit that corner fast, I was coming out of it, and then I noticed a wet patch, something that looked shiny and slippery. But I couldn't do much about it because I was going around the corner too hard on this blind corner that I couldn't look through. And as I was noticing it, my front tire had already hit. All cards on the table, I've done this exact road a million times in my life, and probably faster. But I wasn't expecting this patch of I want to say frost. It was beginning of winter. We don't really get black ice here in Auckland. That's pretty much good riding weather all year round. There was woods on both sides of the road, which meant that there was no way for the sun to defrost the ice or like dry out the asphalt before I hit it, and that's exactly what I hit. I know for a fact normally I'd be fine recovering from this kind of situation. I've hit slippery stuff before, I've had this kind of wobbling before, and usually if you just power out of it, you maintain your throttle, don't shut it off, don't slam on the brakes, you maintain it, and you keep going straight, your bike will recover. However, my rear tire didn't have enough tread. I don't think that was my actual fault. And the reason for that is I was just telling myself, oh yeah, I'll do this one more ride, this is just a small weekend ride, it's not a long trip, I'll go out, have a short ride, and then just fix and then replace the tire afterwards, which was my undoing. Luckily for me, my friend was following me right behind with his missus, and just about absolute beauty of a guy and girl taking care of me when I went down. I hadn't realized that I'd broken my shoulder. I actually thought I just dislocated it. And then I stood up, walked over to the side of the bank. Actually, no, I rolled over to the side of the road with this broken bone, so I assume I squished a little bit of it out of place, and my mate helped me turn my bike off, pull it off to the side of the road, get it upright, and his missus had her dad trailer the bike back home for me, and it's been staying at the bike repair place till today. Actually, I'm meant to be getting it dropped off today, and apparently nothing too serious has happened to my DR other than the turn signals and the front of the bike. Kind of like, I have this like homemade windscreen that blew up essentially because of the impact. Kinda rethinking whether or not I really want all that contraption at the front now, because man, that could have been something that I go straight into. It was meant to be more of a rally fairing, but I never used the GPS anymore on that thing anyway. Anyway, at this point of the crash, I'm in the middle of nowhere, about halfway up State Highway 16, which is a very twisty, sort of quote-unquote back roads highway. About 20 to 30 minutes, the ambulance gets there, and I just sit there and chat with my mate, and I'm in quite a lot of pain. To be honest, I'm more ashamed than anything, because I've done this road a million times at higher speeds, and not to brag, but this is a road that I'm so familiar with that I've done this road leading beginners, teaching them how to ride, and showing them good road techniques and road positioning and taking good lines around corners. And I felt like a fraud. And I suppose at a certain point I just got so comfortable I kind of forgot about the things I tell people to do, because I became so complacent. That's what led me, other than my ball tire really, to just slipping. Anyway, while we were waiting, my mate paces out how long it took me to stop on the road, and he reckons, according to his pacing, from where I started wobbling to where I eventually ended up, it was about 30 to 35 meters. So that's like 10 to 12 foot, I guess, for you Americans. Is that right? No, 30 to 35 foot? No, that's not right either. Okay, but it was quite some distance, so I think that also proves how slippery it was, because I didn't have a lot of damage on my gear from sliding, and I must have just slid along and tumbled. I do, however, remembering seeing the asphalt and the sky like repeatedly as I was going down on the ground. Nothing like what people ask me, like, did I see flashbacks? No, I don't say anything like that. I just remember seeing sky and the ground, like, repeatedly until it stopped. I think a funny thing was that during this time, while I was waiting for the ambulance, I actually got a call from my mom. And she normally doesn't call me when she knows I'm out on a ride, but she gave me a call just saying, hey, we're also heading out to Matakana Market. Do you guys want to meet up, grab lunch together? And this was about 5 minutes after I crashed. So I picked it up and I said to her, hey, look, I'm still riding, I'm busy, but we're actually just heading back to North Shore where I live. If you want, we can meet up on the shore. So I tell her that, hey, just give me a call back when you're back on the shore and I will let you know where to meet up. So I just didn't have the heart to tell her that I had gone down at that moment. But clearly my mother, like all the other mums, is a psychic. So, hey, you guys should go and tell your mum you love her. But anyway, so the ambulance gets there, and well, it was the rural paramedics first that get there. They're like the emergency services, so they do like fire management and paramedic work at the same time. So they just come and stabilize me, tell me I've probably broken my collarbone, take my jacket off and my helmet off for me and things like that. And then probably another 20 minutes more waiting, the actual ambulance gets here that's going to take me to the hospital. And then they start examining me and my gear for bruises, abrasion, and anything that stands out. what they notice is a gigantic crack on the side of my helmet. So immediately, and rightly so I suppose, that they assume that I have potentially severe brain damage. So, as soon as they chuck me on the ambulance, it's fentanyl time. They just give me the best painkiller that they can muster up, which is awesome because I was in a lot of pain. And from then on, they took me back to the hospital. I actually didn't go to emergency room. They took me to a place that I didn't know actually existed called resuscitation, and the doctor there did a very thorough check for me. And after doing several x-rays, CAT scans, then that scan where they put like warm liquid in your veins and then like scan you, they did that. I don't know what it's called, I forget what it's called, but they did all that and told me that I had no spine, back, or brain damage. And my helmet had really done its job. So LS2 that I bought for like $250 in New Zealand, so I'm actually getting another one because I passed my crash testing, clearly. So if you're looking for a budget, so I keep asking the doctor, hey, can I get something to eat, please? I'm really hungry. I'm like starving here. And she says, look, we're still not sure whether or not we need to do surgery on you, so please just hold on. If we need to do surgery on you, you need to be in an empty stomach. So apparently what Dr. Spetchaman in 30 Rock told me about having a nice big breakfast in the morning before surgery was a bit of a lie, so a bit of a letdown. Also during this time I call my work and pretty much just tell them, hey look, I'm probably not going to be back for a while, at least 2 weeks by the looks of things. Turns out I'm not going to be back for 12 weeks at least, but we didn't know that at the time. And thank you, Carl, if you ever watch this. I'm not going to show you this video purposefully, but if you ever watch this, thank you so much. You are an absolute legend, and everybody else at work who just picked up everything for me and sorted everything else out for me, and you guys have been the best workmates I could have ever asked for. Anyways, after that, I spend another 12 hours or so in the orthopedic wing just overnight so that they can monitor me and make sure nothing's like swelling or taking the turn for the worst. And then they chuck my wrist in a cast so that my wrist and my my hand bones can heal, and gave me a sling and told me to wear it till I see them next time. So when I went back 3 weeks ago now, they told me to keep my arm in a sling for another 6 weeks. So I've in my sling for another 3 weeks from this point. And I'm kind of getting used to being in a sling. I'm not moping around as much. I can be a bit more mobile. I still suck with my left hand, but, like my right arm's out of a cast, so I've been getting around. With all that rambling over, the real reason I wanted to make this video was just share with you what it was like. I'm someone that rides a motorcycle probably 300 days out of 365 days of the year. I commute, I go on trips, I'll do weekend rides, I'll do 6-week long trip across the country. I go out and practice slow speed skills every week and help newer people, learners, practice it and take learners out for rides where they can go at a comfortable speed for learners. So motorcycling is clearly a huge part of my life. And a lot of people have asked me, hey, has this made you not want to be on a bike anymore? And my answer is no. In fact, I'm really kind of just itching to get back on a bike. I just can't physically yet. And as soon as I can and the doctor gives me a green light, I'll be back on my bike. Not to mention I don't have a car license, so I don't have much of a choice here. I should really get my car license. Nah, I kinda want a truck. Anyway, but still, I have expressed some concerns about kind of being psychologically ready still. Just thinking about getting back on the bike. I was at my weekly slow speed riding bike night on North Shore, Westgate, 7 p.m. Westgate parking lot in Albany, if anybody is from New Zealand. And I was looking at some of the spots on the road where morons were doing donuts before. Not our bikers, mind you. This was people in cars, teenagers, and other muppets. And they had left slippery tire slicks. I was looking at it and going, you know, these things used to not freak me out, but now it kind of does. So I'm hoping that when I do get back on, this hasn't permanently traumatized me, but I still want myself to come out the other side reminding myself to be more cautious. And that's the real lesson, I think, is that I've gotten a bit complacent about my riding. Like I said, as soon as I saw that wooded area ahead of me, the first thing that should have popped into my head was, oh hey, that's probably going to be quite slippery, or at least wet, because it was raining the night before, and wood equals shade, that's going to be still wet and possibly even mossy at this time of the year. So I should really slow down. And then I just ignored that 55 k's an hour suggestion and just shot through it. Now, I don't know what came over me, because normally I only do about 20 k's over the suggestions, because those suggestions are kind of made for like everything between motorcycles to trucks, like 18-wheelers. I'm more than safe to take those on, but it wasn't the case this time, clearly. And this was just clearly a good sign for me to rein in my riding a little bit, so that I can keep riding for another 40, 50, 60 years, hopefully, and not kill myself halfway through my exciting riding career. And lastly, I think the biggest thing for me from this whole experience was it reminded me of something that I forgot about a little bit. I used to be a big proponent of the idea of memento mori, remember that you will die. And this accident kind of reminded me of why I should remember that I will die. Generally in life, I become a bit complacent. Again, this key word here clearly. And I've kind of put my world trip that I've always wanted to do for a long time, my sort of getting more into YouTube thing that I've always wanted to do for a long time. Like, I've actually been making YouTube videos since 2010, when Modern Warfare 2 was in full swing. I've still got like the thing I bought to record PS3 video game footage with in my cabinet. This whole accident reminded me that, yeah, I could just die when I'm out having fun. And what have I achieved? I'm a teacher. I'm a good son, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. Oh, clearly, I worry my mother. But it's just that if I continue being complacent about my life, just because I've got a livable salary, I'll never be able to achieve these things I've always wanted to do and be. And the last 11 weeks of staying in all the time and lying around and resting has made me reflect a lot, has made me a little bit crazy, to be honest. And it's made me want to do a lot more things. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I'm gonna try and put out some more videos from now on, and I hope you watch them. So if you're interested in my style of sort of slow videos, or someone called it slow, I like to think it's relaxing. It's like you and me being pals, having a chat. I want to go and make some reviews of museums and backpackers and show off New Zealand to other people a little bit more. Anyway, that's besides the point. So hopefully my little story about, frankly, getting away with a high-speed motorcycle crash with no serious bodily harm, no brain damage, remember, no spine damage, no back damage. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. And I hope this is a reminder for you to wear your damn gear all the damn time. My DR650 is fine and still runs, so I look forward to being on more adventures with her and hopefully bringing you guys along. So stick around and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day. Take care.